Hi guys, and welcome to the WrestleMania 41 Night 2 prediction video. Of course, a few hours ago we uploaded the Night 1 prediction video. I wanted to leave a little bit of a gap in between the uploads of both videos. So without further ado, let's get into the predictions for WrestleMania Night 2. Starting off with the street fight between Damien Priest and Drew McIntyre. Of course, I think it's been no secret that Drew McIntyre has been a little bit disappointed backstage, apparently, with the way that his WrestleMania has gone and the fact that he is not in a world title match and he's instead against Damien Priest, or even involved in that match with Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins and CM Punk, apparently. But of course, there is a story there with Damien Priest. Last year at WrestleMania, he came out and cashed in on a vulnerable Drew McIntyre. So there is a story there to be told. I do believe that Drew McIntyre would benefit more from coming away with the win there, not just because I'm Scottish, but I do think that Drew McIntyre would benefit more from coming away with a victory in this match and potentially going on to compete for world titles in the rest of the year. So I'm going to go for a Drew McIntyre win. On to our first title match of the night, which is Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Lyra Valkyria and Bayley for the Women's Tag Team Championships. In this case, I don't really see what the benefit would be in taking the tag titles off Liv and Raquel, especially since Lyra is the Women's Intercontinental Champion at this point, so you could potentially build to a little bit of a miscommunication in this match where Bayley maybe costs the match or Lyra costs the match in some capacity, and then you get Lyra versus Bayley for the IC title down the line. So in this case, I'm going to say that Liv and Raquel are going to retain the tag team championships. On to AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. Now, this one is a bit of a sticky one, I think. It's, a lot of people would rather that AJ Styles had a better caliber of opponent than Logan Paul at WrestleMania. However, this obviously has the potential to be a very good match. As I'm sure we're all aware, AJ Styles' WrestleMania resume hasn't lived up to expectation at times. He's had matches that should have been better than what they were and for whatever reason weren't. And he's had opponents that he's quite frankly stole the show with. If you remember when he faced Shane McMahon at WrestleMania, for whatever reason, that was the best match on the card. So, this one has the potential to steal the show, or it has the potential to be a bit of a flop. Logan Paul, though, I have to say, as much as he's unlikable, he does put on good matches, and I'm a big fan of his new finisher. I think they are officially calling it the Pulverizer after Pat McAfee called it that on commentary. Who do I think would benefit more from winning this match, though? That's the thing. It fully depends on which direction they want to go in with both of them. Both former United States champions. Obviously, AJ is a former WWE champion as well, former Intercontinental champions, tag team champions. So, I would rather AJ win the match, of course, but I think this could go either way. So, I'm going to go for an AJ Styles win in this match over Logan Paul. On to our multi-man match for the Intercontinental Championship featuring Dominic Mysterio, Finn Balor, Penta and Braun Breaker. Now, I am pretty confident that because it's a multi-man match for the Intercontinental Championship, that Braun Breaker will be losing the Intercontinental Championship, but he won't be the one to take the pin, protecting him in this case. However, a couple of years ago, I was very confident that Gunther was going to lose the Intercontinental Championship to either Drew or Sheamus, given the fact that it was a multi-man match, he could protect him, but he didn't. So, Breaker very well could come away with the title. However, I'm pretty confident he's going to lose the title to either Finn Balor or Dominic Mysterio because of the storyline that's going on with them at the moment. I believe that Dominic Mysterio makes more sense to win the Intercontinental Championship than Finn Balor. because he would be the heel in the situation. You know, we could get a scenario where Finn's about to win and Dom steals the win off of him, for example. I'm going to go for Dominic Mysterio to be the new Intercontinental Champion, leading into a feud between him and Finn Balor going forward because of Finn getting screwed over in this match by Dom. On to the Women's World Championship triple threat match between Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, and the champion Io Sky. Second year in a row that Io Sky is entering WrestleMania as a world champion. Of course, she lost last year. I think a lot of people would like to see her win this year. However, I'm not sure that she will. I think in this case, we may be seeing Bianca Belair, who in the lead up to this match, in terms of fans, hasn't been getting the best reactions in places, so potentially she could be turning heel. I think Bianca Belair will be coming away with the Women's World Championship in this match because I believe that they were going to want to do a bit of a feud going forward with Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill for the Women's World Championship. So I believe that Bianca Belair will be coming away with the Women's World title in this case. I think, funnily enough, Io Sky is not the least likely person to win this match. I wouldn't be surprised if she did win it because of it being her second time going in as champion. I think Rhea Ripley is actually the least likely to win this match because of her being sort of inserted in it last minute. However, that could be proven totally wrong, and it could be a situation where she just goes in and wins the match and wins the title back. I think that would be a mistake because if you were going to do that anyway, why not just have her stay champion heading into it and taking on Bianca herself, other than maybe the surprise factor of Io winning the title off her in that time. But I do believe that Bianca Belair is going to win the Women's World Championship in this match, leading into a feud with Jade Cargill after WrestleMania. Now, on to the Night 2 main event. We have Cody Rhodes versus John Cena for the undisputed WWE Championship. Cody, of course, has been champion since last year's WrestleMania when he dethroned the record-breaking reign of Roman Reigns in that absolute chaos-filled last 15 minutes of the match, which John himself was involved in, along with The Rock, Seth Rollins, and of course we had The Undertaker involved in it as well with Solo Sikoa too. So the question is, what's going to happen this time? Now, of course, we have a SmackDown to go before WrestleMania, but since John Cena aligned himself with The Rock hasn't shown up on television at all to say anything about the situation. So, will he show up on SmackDown this week? Not too sure. Will he even show up at WrestleMania? Well, according to backstage reports, they're not too sure about that either. That's why The Rock has been mentioned sparingly in this feud. Now, the question remains, does Cena get his 17th world title in this retirement run? I think they are going to put it on him. Do they put it on him at WrestleMania? Yes, I think so. I think as much as Cody has actually been pretty good as champion, I don't believe he will be retaining the championship in this match, because I believe what's going to happen is John Cena is going to win the title, whether he does it through dodgy means, help from The Rock, whatever. John Cena is going to win the title, and then he's going to go on to Backlash in Missouri to face an old foe in Randy Orton for the WWE Championship. What Cody does during that time, not too sure, but that's what I believe will happen. Does John retain at in Missouri and then take the title to maybe face CM Punk and other people that he's faced down the line before he retires in December and potentially drops the title? Maybe, although he could turn face in that time before he retires again. I don't know. I would also personally like to see him complete the championship Grand Slam and win the Intercontinental Championship before he retires as well. Do you put the Intercontinental Championship and the WWE Championship on him at the same time and have him drop both just before he retires? I don't know. We'll see what happens in this retirement run, of course. But I am predicting John Cena to come away with the WWE Championship at the end of WrestleMania. If he doesn't, and Cody retains, you know, he probably is going to win it down the line somewhere before he retires. I just think now is the time to pull the trigger. I think a lot of people as well, even before he turned heel, thought, yep, he should be winning the Royal Rumble. He then went on to win the Chamber anyway, so there's that. But John Cena, 17-time champion, come the end of WrestleMania 41. That's going to do it for both sets of WrestleMania predictions. I do plan to stay up and watch WrestleMania. That's right, if you're watching out with the UK. Well, Europe would have the same problem, I suppose. But if you're watching from America, unfortunately, we have to stay up to watch WrestleMania most of the time. Even if we ended up getting a WrestleMania in the UK, you guys would end up with a lunchtime WrestleMania, I suppose. But we have to stay up during the night to watch it live. I do intend to do it for both nights of WrestleMania and then give you my thoughts on both nights of WrestleMania's matches as well. Of course, I've done predictions based off of what is on the card at the moment. SmackDown could potentially change that because of the fact that we have one more night to go. Randy Orton does not have an opponent yet for WrestleMania. They could potentially add one more match. There's the tag title match on SmackDown that could potentially get a match at one of the nights of WrestleMania, depending on the outcome as well. The Women's US Championship has nowhere to be seen. Obviously, Lyra Valkyria is involved in the tag match, so she wouldn't be defending anyway, but Chelsea Green may be defending at WrestleMania, you never know. But I've done predictions based off of what we have available to us at the moment. If something changes come SmackDown, then I'll obviously address it in the reaction videos for it. Thank you very much for the new viewers and subscribers. If you're new around here, please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.